Hi, I'm Catherine with the Old Country Porch. Today I'm going to show you how to make 4 of my best-selling Christmas craft items. So the first thing I'm going to make are these decorative clothespins. And you'll just need a regular clothespin. You'll need some kind of printed paper. I found this pack at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to use one of the pieces from this one. And this diamond glaze is the glue that I'll be using. So I think the easiest way to do this is to put some of your diamond glaze onto your clothespin, and then I like to take a popsicle stick and spread the glue all over and make sure I got all the corners. So for this one, I want to do these bells so that I know that I've lined it up right. I'm just going to fold a little bit of this part over. Then I'm going to press the clothespin and hold it for at least 10 seconds. And then just set them aside and let them dry. And these will need to dry for at least an hour. So now that it's completely dry, I just take my scissors, and I love these craft scissors. They have a spring in them, so they're really easy to cut things like this. And I go around the edge and cut all of the excess off. Some of the edges will be a little bit jagged and rough. So I take a piece of sandpaper and sand the edges. So once you get all of the edges sanded down flat against the clothespin, then you want to seal the top. And you can seal it with diamond glaze if you want a really glossy finish. I like my clothespins to have a nice matte finish, so this is what I will be using to seal mine. I used to have a couple booths at different consignment shops where I sold my crafts. And I've also done craft shows. But when I did craft shows, I only did 1 or 2 a year. My problem is, how much inventory do you bring with you? Because I never know, especially like seasonal stuff. I would love to do like 1 or 2 Christmas craft shows, but I just never have any clue how much to make and bring. If you're only doing 1 or 2 shows a year, which is one of the things that I love about selling online, is that I can just list something and make it when the order comes in, and I don't have to carry an inventory, or I don't have to carry a big inventory. But I've always been confused about how to know how much inventory to bring to a craft show. So if you are someone who sells at craft shows, I would love if you could share with me how you know how much inventory to bring to each event. And this is going to dry completely clear, so you don't need to worry about getting it perfect, as long as it's all covered. When your clothespins are finished drying, there's a few things you can do with them. If you wanted to leave them like this and use them with some decorative yarn, this would be great for hanging pictures or Christmas cards. Or they make these tiny little, very strong magnets. You can glue a couple of them to the back and stick it on your refrigerator. Or you can even glue a thumbtack to the back and then stick it to a cork board. And you can do them for every holiday. You can do them for different seasons. These are one of my favorite ones to make. The second thing I'm going to make are glass magnets. You can find these at dollar stores, and you can use these, but with all of these ridges on the back of this bigger one, you're not going to get a very clear picture. I like to use these. You can find them in bigger sizes, but the reason I like these, the back is completely flat. So I took a piece of paper out of this again, and I'm using the diamond glaze again. So you want to decide where you want your image to be, and then put a very small dot of glue there. This is all the glue that I'm using for this one. So I'm going to put my piece of glass on it and line it up where I want it, and then I'm going to apply pressure. And after you start to apply the pressure, you don't want to move it around, because that's when you're going to get air pockets in it. Now the key to making these perfect are, you want to set these aside and let them dry for at least 12 hours. After you've waited 12 hours, then you can go ahead and cut these out. This is where these scissors come in really handy, because you get a really close cut, and since it's spring loaded, they come right back and you can cut them really quick. So I'm going to take my sandpaper and just smooth these edges out a little bit. So this just gives you a nice clean edge. And now you just need to glue your magnet on the back. So I'm using some E6000 craft glue. You can use any kind of strong craft glue that you have. And you just need a tiny little dot. And then center your magnet. And then you just let it dry. The next thing I'm going to make are little snowman face magnets. I'm using these wooden craft discs, and the first thing you have to do is paint them white. This could even be a fun craft for you to do with your kids or your grandkids. Then after they've dried, you can put your magnet on the back. I'm going to use this bigger magnet for this one, but you can use any magnet that you want. I like to put the magnet on first before I paint the front on, that I have something to hold on to keep it steady while I'm painting it. So for this one, I'm just going to paint a little face on it. I'm going to use the back of my brush and dip it in the black for the eyes. And use a little bit of orange for the nose. And then do the same thing that I did for the eyes and do that for the smile. I'm going to give him a little friend. And I'm going to give her little pink cheeks. So after your snowman faces have completely dried, you can seal the top with a layer of Mod Podge. And I love to sell these snowman face magnets as a set. And then the last thing that I'm making are little snowman clothespins. You take your clothespin and you want to paint the whole thing white. So after you've set them aside to dry, then you can make little faces on them. And I also like to add little buttons on their belly. You can take a piece of scrap fabric and cut a little scarf for him. And tie it around his neck. I'm going to put a little drop of glue right under his scarf to keep it in place. Then you have these super cute little snowman clothespins. You can also add magnets to the back of these and you can hang them on your fridge. My favorite thing about this snowman is you can find these little baby clothespins and make a whole snowman family. If you like this video and want to see more like it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.